Hello guys, Brad once again, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do a video. I'm not sure if this issue has been addressed before in the fragrance community or not, but I thought it would be a great idea for a video anyway, and I'm going to call this video Top 10 Price Point Considerations Before You Purchase a Fragrance. And the reason I thought I would do this video is because we have been seeing a lot of attention towards the niche fragrance market. You know, the $200, $300 per bottle fragrances, discontinued fragrances, the Terry Mugler fragrances selling for over $150 a bottle, and other discontinued designer fragrances that are very expensive as well. So I came up with 10 items, and I'll do a little brief talk about each one in no particular order. I just kind of jotted these down as I thought them up. The first one, how good does it actually smell? You know, when you smell fragrance, that's something that you have to decide for yourself. If everybody in the fragrance community says it's a 10 out of 10, that's great, but if you don't like the smell of it on your own skin, maybe there's a skin chemistry problem, maybe you just don't like a particular note, or something you find offensive about it, that definitely should be a consideration. So make sure you know on a scale of like 1 to 10 how you feel about the actual smell of that fragrance before you set the price point. Number 2, how long does it last? Now, especially with some of these niche fragrances, there's not necessarily a correlation between price point and projection longevity. Some expensive fragrances are actually quite subtle and almost indistinguishable after a few minutes. I hear a lot of people say that Creed fragrances are like that, and that might just be on a person-to-person basis. But make sure if you're going to spend, a lot of money for a fragrance, that it does, hold on for a while, at least long enough to justify the price point. So that was my number 2. And number 3, again, this one might not be very important to some people, but I still think compliments do mean a lot. If somebody compliments the way you smell, that means you're doing a good job of picking a good fragrance, that it smells good, that it's something that actually kind of, works well with your skin and is pleasing to the general public. I definitely think that, if a fragrance gets you lots of compliments, it does deserve a higher price point than something that doesn't get you any compliments. Number 4, does anything cheaper smell close to it? So basically, if you buy a fragrance, for $200, but there's another fragrance out there for $50 that smells almost just like it, you have to take that into consideration. The longer a fragrance has been out, if it's a very popular fragrance, it could be copied by somebody else, so you might want to take that into consideration as well. You definitely want something that, has a unique factor to it. Number 5, how often would you actually wear it? Very important. Is this something that could be a signature scent? Is this something that's seasonal that you would only wear on special occasions? If you're able to wear this fragrance 100 times or more a year, definitely think that gives it a higher price point. If it's something you'd only maybe pull out once or twice a year, then it becomes a lot more iffy in terms of price point. Number 6, is it a fair price? The reason I say that is because, as you see with discontinuation practices, people do try to exploit the rarity of the item and elevate the price. And I hate to see that happen. People get caught up in hype. They have to have it, and the seller knows they have to have it, so they will raise the price, and it's not a fair price point anymore. So you have to keep that in consideration as well. Number 7, could it be cheaper in the future? I think a good example of this is pure malt. Now I'm hearing that Terry Mugler might be releasing pure malt, or that some store somewhere like the French Sephora, I think it was, might be selling pure malt. Now that is definitely going to help the price point. People aren't going to be able to sell $150, $200 bottles of pure malt on eBay if there's a seller over in France selling it for $100. And that's a re-release fragrances, things like that, definitely lower the price point. So you might want to just keep your eyes open on that as well. Think about that before you purchase a fragrance. Number 8, I put how unique is it, and I think that's pretty similar to does anything cheaper smell close to it. But definitely, like certain fragrances, have been around for a long time and they've been copied, and it's kind of difficult to justify the price sometimes. Like I know people get upset if they're wearing Green Irish Tweed and people say, "Hey, are you wearing Cool Water?" Or if you're wearing Lithium Imperial and someone says, "Are you wearing Sean John?" So it's kind of like that. If those types of comparisons are gonna make you upset, you might want to think about the price point a little bit more. Number 9, is this something that might be decant worthy or have good swap value? In other words, how do other people in the fragrance community feel about that fragrance? If it's something that has like a lot of hype behind it, something that you know other people are going to want, you could maybe sell off some juice in decants, or maybe swap your bottle out later if you're not crazy about it in the future, and that's very helpful as well. If you just bought something just because you read, a review of it and not too many people have heard of it, it might be more difficult to sell off or decant off to somebody else. And finally, is this an attractive bottle with collector's appeal? I mean, I know we all like to have that little shelf in our house maybe where we can display our great looking bottles and everything. So, attractive bottle design, packaging, and everything, that could be something to consider as well. You don't want that generic looking bottle sitting there, with no distinguishable quality to it. So those are just 10 things I thought about for this list. Just try to hold to your guns with price point. Sometimes being patient can be very helpful. One day a fragrance might be $100 a bottle, and then it's discounted and it's only 50, or maybe it's re-released and it gets cheaper that way. So yeah, I'd say be very careful about overspending on fragrances. I think for the most part, I don't know, like in my case, I can't really see myself going higher than about $60 for a bottle. eBay can actually be a great friend if you're patient. You can maybe get less than 50% for the cost of a fragrance. So keep your eyes open, be patient, don't jump the gun, and happy buying, everybody. Talk to you later.